say hi where you are from. Say hi where you are from. Let us just in the comment section. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Okay, I'm getting from this comments that music is still playing in the background. Is that cleared up now? Okay, that's perfect. All right, thank you. All right, welcome. So I said we'll start with introductions. Let's know where you're from. We had about 50 registrants for today's session and from all over the place. So just want to know, just say hi in the comment sections. Let us know where you are from and we'll pick up from there. Hello, welcome. Okay. Hi. Okay, thank you. We have Sarah from Lagos. We have God Wisdom from Benin. Welcome you all. Welcome. I think right now we have 10. Okay. Hi, Sule from Lagos. Welcome. Good to have you here. Felix from Lagos. Queen Esther from Lagos. Welcome you. I think right now most of our participants are from Lagos. Let us also know, are you all new? Is Propresenter a new software to you? Or is it something that you already work with and just want to learn more? I mean, we already have a lot packaged for you for this program already. Okay, God's Wisdom says it's new. Oh, okay. Sarah also says it's new. All right. To move ahead with time, because we're already short of time, we just have about 2 hours for today. So we'll get started. I believe every other participant will be joining us as we go on. The way our material has been arranged, it will be easy for all to join in and to learn as we go ahead. So right now, I'll be welcoming Erom to do the introductions and we'll get started from there. Welcome again.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can see and hear me clearly.
Hi, Erom.
Hi, Dalu.
Welcome. We can't hear you though.
Oh. You still can't hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you now, Erom.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right, so I would start sharing my screen in a minute. All right, so I'm going to be giving a brief introduction of Liseen Productions and also a brief introduction of our convener, Tunji Akinbo. Okay, so what do we do at Liseen Productions? So Liseen Productions is an experienced production company created to provide dynamic solutions for virtual, physical, and hybrid events through the use of various types of technology and production management. So the services that we offer at Liseen Productions include event strategy and planning, which is, helping with the overall strategy of the event and making sure that the planning and execution of the event is seamless and efficient. We also provide technical production and audiovisual management. So I believe I'm using a lot of grammar, but this basically when you attend productions, they're productions for you, but events, making sure that every aspect from the lights to the sound to the visuals are in sync and ensuring that, all vendors work in sync and efficiently. We also provide live streaming and conferencing platform integration. We basically in layman's terms, streaming to different content delivery networks. We also provide on-site management and logistics. We, as a company as well, we do audiovisual design and integration. We also provide trainings and consultations for different churches and companies. And explaining this in depth is basically, we would come to your church or come to your organization, or if you're an individual who wants this in-person training, we also provide that so that you could, upskill your workflows. We also provide technical support. Okay, so next up, all right. Next up, I will be showing you, it's easy to tell you what we've done with Propresenter, but I will be showing you how we've used Propresenter at different events to create different amazing visuals and lyric displays. Okay, so that was at Jesus Christ Encounters in South Africa. I believe this was a 5-screen output display. So we'll be watching. This was also at the Jesus Christ Encounters. I think the next 2 or 3 videos were at Jesus Christ Encounters, and this was a 2-screen output display at the venue. Jesus Christ has died. He's Lord. As we said, He's Lord. Speaks better things than the blood of Abel. So right now. I'm tired of my life is just Okay, so before I play the next one, in case you just joined, so we're watching the different ways that Liseen Productions has used Propresenter 7 to enhance our lyric and visual display. So next up, we have the lyric and visual display as the Truth in Sound album recording by Pastor Victoria. Right, so I hope that I have been able to motivate you somehow in getting interested in learning the different things you could use with Propresenter 7 or different things you could do with Propresenter 7. So before I introduce our speaker for today, I'd like to implore you to get in touch with us via any of our social media platforms. You could follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn to see the various things that we're up to as a company. And also if you or your church or your organization needs our services in any way or trainings, you could also get in touch with us. All right, so it gives me great pleasure to invite the creative director at Liseen Productions. Tunji Akinbo started Liseen Productions in 2020. And he has always had this strong passion for solving problems using technology and creating opportunities using technology. He has worked at various projects, at various events, as a product manager and also as an AV consultant. Programs like The Experience, The Outpouring, various live recordings of different artists. He has also worked with individuals and organizations. I could name all of them, but I don't want to bore you. So with great pleasure, I introduce Tunji Akinbo to start this session officially. Tunji, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you for washing me out. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, wherever you're joining from. Let's go back. So, okay. Good morning, wherever you're joining from. Can everyone hear me clear in the chat? Please, if you can hear me, just type yes in the chat so that I know I'm not talking. Okay, great. Thank you very much. So who is excited to learn Propresenter 7? I mean, almost 50 people registered and we have less than 10% of that number. Yeah, I mean, by the time you take the well, but let's say less than 20% of that number. So maybe I guess people forgot and stuff, but we're really excited. We'll go with what we have at the moment. And if you are joining with your computer, please type yes in the chat. Yes, I joined in my computer. No, I didn't join my computer. I'm just trying to just open up my slides so that we will. Okay. So many people join with I joined my computer. Amazing. So I'll just show you guys some things and then we just get right into it. So this is going to be a very practical session. We've asked you to join with your computer because we want you to follow along. So again, like Erom was saying, this is Liseen Productions. Welcome. We are an event production company and we believe in using technology to transmit and help our clients communicate their ideas and their thoughts and all of that. This is covered by God, which happened last year, where we also use Propresenter as a display tool for screens, right? We had 3 screen destinations: live screen, center iMag, and screens to the right. This is also Erom, who was just talking to you. So this is Erom designing the screens at Jesus Christ Encounter. So it's not as though we're just showing you video files and we use something else, but this is just give you behind the scenes of how things were designed for display on screens, right? And then this is also another. So during today's session, we will be recreating this screen look, right? We'll walk you through recreating this screen look that we use for Jesus Christ encounters. I really, really like this look actually, because it also gives it this like anime kind of pixelated vibe to the lyrics. And one of the things we realized at Lesson Productions, which is one of the things that we've been trying to do with Propresenter, is we realized that even in churches and house of worships, concerts, lyric display can be quite boring. People just put up the lyrics. Some people put like 5 tile blocks of lyrics. Some people put like 2 tile blocks. Some people put it on the person speaking. And some screens are just boring. So we just asked ourselves. So one of the things we had to go back and ask ourselves is, how can we make the screens interesting and more engaging, even when the lyric of the song is still very evident on the screen? I mean, like if you see on the center iMac there, you see how that okay, just forgive me real quick. Yes. So on the center iMac there, you see how we have the joy is not all that's showing. So the user can be like, oh, that's all I'm seeing. And then you are seeing vibe showing on the vertical bars. But then you have the full joy is my vibe just showing on the header. So, and then you see have joy is my vibe showing on the iMac that has the video. So this is one source, one computer. And mind you, we sent all of these displays controlling it with one computer, right? So it tells you the beauty of Propresenter, where you can send to multiple destinations, just routing it from one computer. And we're going to show you how that is very possible, right? So I'm just going to just put out a quick poll, right? And I just want to ask, in what year was Propresenter first created? Let's see how many people are going to get this. In what year was Propresenter first created? Okay, some people are saying 2005, 3 people responded to 2005. Okay, we have somebody saying 2000. Hope it is not the Liseen production teams are responding to this, because
No,
once
I
again,
promise I'm not responding.
okay, just 4 people. 4 people out of 10 people in this meeting. Okay, who else is responding? Who else is responding? Who else is responding? Are we getting any response from people? Okay, so we just end the poll. So 2000 is the correct answer. Propresenter was created in year 2000, right? And just one person, 3 people said 2005. It wasn't 2005. Propresenter was first created in year 2000. And yes, this is what Propresenter looked like when it was first created. It was created for Passion Conference, and Propresenter was just created as a tool to help people follow along with lyrics of songs that are being presented, or that people were being led to sing at the Passion Conference. And Passion Conference is going to become a very big conference that happens annually in the US. And obviously, Propresenter has also gone in the 23 years of that journey. Wow, 23 years already. And you can see that Propresenter has now gone to becoming a complex software and solution that has helped churches. And Propresenter is not only used for churches anymore. Propresenter is now used in the Olympics, in the NFL draft. Propresenter is used in the US Congress, used in Disney, Walmart, NASA. So Propresenter can be used anywhere. Propresenter is not just for churches, right? And we'll just ask one more question before we just get to it, which is what operating system is Propresenter compatible with? Let's see those who downloaded the software, and let's see. So we have 2 people who responded already, 3 people, somebody saying Mac only. Wow, interesting. Another person saying both. Okay, we have another person saying both. So do we have more responses? More responses? Any more responses, please? Okay, so and we stop. Thank you very much. So we had 7 responses, 6 people out of those people, out of everyone said it's compatible on both operating systems. Yes. Propresenter was initially created for Mac, and when Propresenter 7 came out, Propresenter was created for Windows 2, and now Propresenter is now compatible on both Mac and Windows, and so you can get every single feature available on the Mac, also available on Windows PC. So we will be starting right away, and this is our workflow design. This is workflow design that we designed for Jesus Christ Encounter South Africa. So Jesus Christ Encounter South Africa was a 3-day event, and there was the indoor event and there was the outdoor. So really what we are going to be doing is we're going to just be walking you through, how we designed the presentation for all screens. That's the Joy is My Vibe lyric display that you saw. And in walking you through, you will also get to see, we'll be teaching you step by step. So we're not just showing you, this is how to create a slide, this is how to create macros, or this is how to create themes, or this is how to create multiple screen displays. As we're doing that, we're also going to be replicating the Joy is My Vibe display that we did at Jesus Christ Encounters. So it is holistic. So have your Propresenter launched already. I've launched mine, and I'll be sharing my screen, showing you my Propresenter screen right away. So here we go. We have a Propresenter screen. Can everyone see my Propresenter screen? If you can, please type yes in the chat. If you can see, if you can see my Propresenter screen, say yes. Erom says yes. Felix says yes. If you have your Propresenter launch, and give me a thumbs up. So, and if you don't have your Propresenter screen, just give like a smiley emoji, or a smiling emoji that just says, okay, I'll just follow through and I'll join later. Okay, so thumbs up. Only Sarah has a thumbs up. Who else has their Propresenter? Who else has their Propresenter? Who else has their Propresenter launched? Who else? Who else? Who else? Is Sarah the only person that will be part of this training today? Who else? Who else? Who else? They're not responsive in chat. Interesting. Okay, so we'll just get ahead so that we are done just by 12 o'clock. We plan to make this really brief. So we have just 1 hour and 20 minutes to go. And so the first things first, when you launch Propresenter, generally, that is if you download Propresenter for the first time, right? When you download Propresenter for the first time, you see you're introduced with this screen, right, with this display. And really, what it just tells you is what's new on Propresenter. And I mean, the latest, if you're using Propresenter 7.13, right? You see, just give me a moment. So if you're using Propresenter 7.13, it's just going to tell you all that is new to Propresenter. So we're just going to get started, and I'm just going to walk you through. I think I should just share my entire screen actually, so that you will get to see everything I am doing rather than just my Propresenter monitor screen. So I will just do this, and hopefully, yeah. So I guess you can see my screen. hopefully my video is not being displayed again. Okay, so I just have this event to one corner here, and yes, this is also going to help me show you all that workflows that I'm integrating while we're going through this. So if we're ready to go, say yes, and if we're ready to go, just type yes in the chat. Ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. It's about to get intense. It's about to get intense, and yes, ready to go. Sarah looks like she's really, really pumped up for this. Okay, so I mean, we have, oh, Jemima is also in here until it gets ready to go. So when you open Propresenter, so I'm using a MacBook, but if you're using a Windows PC, we also have all of these options available to you. So I wouldn't be using any shortcut keys so that nobody gets confused if you're using a Windows PC. So I would just run you through all of this. So basically, Propresenter runs from left to right, has a left to right orientation, right? So on the left upper left corner, right, you have your library. Under the library, so you can create a new library, new presentation, add playlist from the template. So you can create new templates, and you can add a playlist folder. There's also Planning Center. Planning Center is a third-party integration by Propresenter, where you can connect multiple Propresenter licenses together to plan for a service. And please, let me just mention this on the passing that this training, as you only get better with Propresenter by practicing, right? You can't get to know everything at a go. But if you want us to come and train your church, or you want us to come and do an in-person one-on-one training for your church or for your entity, we're available to train you. So you can always reach out to us via email or via Instagram or LinkedIn, and we would schedule the training for you. So on that library, you see, so I have some libraries already. So if you see, when you click on default library, the library pops up here, and then you can load all your songs or all your presentations and stuff. And I would walk you through how that works, how you can import all of that. And then you can put all your presentations in a playlist, right? So if you have an event or a service that you want to run, you can create a playlist. So I'll just create a new library just so that it helps. So when you create a new library, you can see, I can call it Liseen Productions Training, right? And so we have our new library. And so that library has no item. Can you see it has 0 items there? Please, if you have any questions or if you can't hear me, just make sure you put it in the chat so that I'm sure that everyone is still following through. And the next thing is I can say you want to create a new playlist, right? So I can add a new playlist, or so you can create a playlist, or you can create a playlist folder. So a playlist folder basically is a folder that has multiple playlists in it. So we can create a playlist folder that says, and when you create a new playlist folder, can you see it says untitled folder? When you create it, you can rename it and you can call it Liseen Productions. And primarily, this is how you create a new, this is where you Propresenter really start from. This is where your work will start from. You start from all the way in the left, because you are either creating playlists or you're creating new slides or whatever it is. Now, when you can add a playlist into this, and we can call it training session. Right now, you can always move out your playlist, or you can drag and drop playlist into this folder. So like if I want to do like Jesus Christ Encountered essay, which is already a playlist, right? I can drag it into this folder, And then can you see now this folder has multiple, oh, I can even move this training session out of this folder back here. So it's quite flexible. You can move this Botswana playlist into the listen. So can you see how, so that is basically how libraries work, and that's basically how libraries and playlists work. I'll come back to showing you how to import songs and lyrics into playlists. So you have all of that just grouped on this side. And then on the media end, we have media. So Propresenter just launched a new feature called Pro Content. Pro Content is basically Propresenter's way of you importing video files, countdown files, and media files that you can use in your presentation. You can also have your own presentation. You can also have your own media files. So there are two ways to import media files on Propresenter. The first way is to import it manually. So when you have playlists, when you click on the add playlist, so you can create a new playlist. When I click on add playlist, can you see right there, it just creates a new playlist, and I can call this Liseen training session, right? Can everyone still hear me? If you can still hear me, please just type yes. And if you're following through, please just type yes in the chat. Dalu says yes, Erom says yes. Everyone can see my screen well. Thank you very much. And so in this Liseen training session, right, you can now add a file, right? So you can add a file just by clicking on this plus button on. So can you see it says add media on this lower left corner, right? You can say from Finder or a video input. So you can also add a video input into that playlist. So we're going to click on Finder, and I will just import something from a motion pack, right? So we have some motion files that we already created, that we already had here before, and I will just, so can you see this is the Great Motion Pack 1. So I just import this, and this is your file imported. There's also another way to import a file, right? You can drag and drop your files. So if you just give me a moment, I will just move it over here. And just put that. So you can also drag and drop media files. So I'll just drag and drop a random media file. So this is an image from Jesus Christ and Canada, South Africa. So I can just drag and drop this into this, and you see that is also another way to import a media file. And then the next thing, you can also do a smart playlist. So another way to create a playlist is also by saying a smart playlist. So here's what the smart playlist look like. So you have an existing folder on your drive. So you have all of this having in your drive. So let's say, for instance, you have this folder in your drive, and you have this is the Great Motion Pack. So in this folder now, we have Great Motion Pack 1 to 20, and so you can just create a smart playlist. So rather than importing manually, you can just say include a smart playlist, right? And then a smart playlist will just go all the way. And then when I click on, because I've added the Great Motion Pack, it's not selecting it anymore. So I click on Great Motion Pack 2, right? And when I click on OK, you see what happens immediately. When I click on Great Motion Pack 2, it automatically brings in all the media files directly into that. Now, let me show you another interesting thing now. Now, this is the Great Motion Pack 2 one. Now, this is the Great Motion Pack 2. Now, in the Great Motion Pack 2, if I should delete an item, right? Let's say I delete item 20, which is this one, from this smart folder, it automatically takes it out from Propresenter. So So I click on, so if I delete this now and I say, let's delete again. So if I delete, can you see it says grid motion path missing, and then it just takes that back. If I should restore that file, it is restored back in Propresenter. So can you see it's quite interesting, and it is very, very interactive when you use a smart playlist. So you can always, you don't have to download a file and always think about dragging and dropping into Propresenter. You can just easily create a smart playlist. As long as you populate that folder, you always have your files coming in. Now, another input point. Now, what we've really just talked about is input points. So now you have a library, you have a playlist, and then you have your media. And now the final thing is importing a media file, importing a video input. So now so when you want to input, when you want to bring in a video input, now you can have multiple types of video input. Now, Propresenter has video inputs and audio inputs, right? So under video inputs, you can have as much as 120 channels, right? Can you see? I can keep going and import as many video inputs as possible, right? But we'll just delete all of that and just stick to two for today's training. Now, we'll have this input, and I am imputing my camera input, right? So I'll call this Tunji's camera. I'll call this Tunji's camera. I'll call this Tunji's camera, and sorry about that. Yes, I'll call this Tunji's camera. Can everybody still hear me clearly? I'll call this Tunji's camera. Okay, excellent. So I'll call this Tunji's camera, and you can see this is my camera feed. I can always also input anything, right? I can import an NDI feed. So this is an NDI feed that we've created. I will explain what NDI is much later in this session. Also, you can import as many cameras as possible, right, into your Propresenter. Now, if you look to the side, it says you can also take the audio that comes from the camera source. So you can import the audio from the camera source if you want the video and the audio to be tied together as one source, or you can import your audio's feed independently. So I can call this Tunji audio, right? And with this audio, you can control your audio. So you can configure your audio to either automatically come on when your video input is triggered, or you can configure it to automatically go off when something in the background goes off, or you can just leave it on permanently and you can select your audio sources. So these are different audio sources that you can input into this, and then you can also route your audio into Propresenter. We'll touch on that much later in this training, but I just wanted to just run you through. So while we are here, I would just bring you back again so on Propresenter again, you have Propresenter, about Propresenter, where you can get to see where you can license. Propresenter is free, right? Free for Mac and PC users, but it has a watermark for anyone that wants to display to an outfit. So you have to purchase a license. There is a 30-day free license, 1 month free license, and much later you have to get a registered license. Now, what Propresenter does is that when you do a one-time purchase of a license, you get to use Propresenter free for 1 whole year and forever. But then they have a special package where after 1 year you can renew. You can pay I think it's $99. I'm not sure about this now, you have to pay $99. And what that does for you, what that package does for you is that when there are new updates or new solutions, new software updates, you can always automatically update. So once that 1 year subscription is over and you have a new update on Propresenter, you can't essentially update your software until you're on that subscription plan. But away from that, back to where we are. So you have Propresenter, you have your settings. Under settings, you have general and all of this. And you can check for updates, registration. So we'll just really go under settings and general, so you get to see everything that you can do under Propresenter. So if you just watch the header of this, my Propresenter, I just want to really show you what is happening here. So Propresenter can be used primarily for house of worship. Like we said earlier, Propresenter was created for Passion Conference. But you see, when I click on this, you can see my Bibles, flow, edit, show, and more, stage editor, theme editor, and all of that. But I just really want to show you something. Now, when you click on show house of worship integrations, by the time you turn it off, right, you see that the Bible feature on Propresenter goes out, because Propresenter is really saying, hey, this user doesn't need to use Propresenter, doesn't need to use the Bible feature in Propresenter, and they can just stick to every other feature aside from that. You can also change your language preferences here from English to Dutch, whatever language you're using. So we just turn that back on. You can also embed the copyright display. That is, if you want to have a copyright display, or you can also add the logo of your company. So if you search for Liseen Productions logo, right, we can so if I have the Liseen Productions logo, we can import the Liseen Productions logo, and it becomes like a watermark in Propresenter, right? So we'll just continue with that, and you can also remove the logo to just clear that out. So back to it. Now you have screens. Configure screens, automatically enable screens at launch, show performance, ignore background colors, show keynote PowerPoint screens. All of these are just integrations of, like I said again, you can always import files. And when you're importing files, some of the files that you can also import is keynote or PowerPoint just to help with your display. So you can create your PowerPoint presentation on PowerPoint, and then you can import it into Propresenter. We're going to show you in a moment how you can do that. Import. So this is just telling Propresenter how we should understand files that you import. So when you import a media file, so just back to it, when we looked at this background visuals, right? When you look at it, it's asking you, how do you want this background visual to be? Do you want it to be as a foreground file, or do you want it to be as a background file? And how long do you want that file to be displayed for? Now, right, so when that is just saying, how do you want to scale the foreground file? Do you want to scale to fit, scale to fill, scale to stretch? All of these are just behaviors that you want the media file to take when they are imported. For images, do you want them to have as a background? And I'll show you what the differences between this is. So if it's acting as a background, that means that your text is layered on top of the text file is layered on top of the presentation, and then you can also create next behavior and all of that. So these are just settings that you can have in Propresenter. You can also create groups. Groups are for your verse of songs and all of so for verse 1, verse 2, blank slides. We'll show you how to create slides real quick. I just want to really walk you through all of this. By the time we're creating our look and presentation look for Jesus Christ Encounter, we would come back to some of these things, right, to show you how they work. So inputs, like I've shown you earlier. Let me just delete this real quick. So like we have again, we have inputs where you can input your video. This is my video that's being inputted into Propresenter at the moment. And then I'll show you how video inputs can be routed. On the network, this is to let you know that there's a feature in Propresenter called Propresenter Remote, right? And that means you can remotely control your Propresenter from a third party, from a third party software, right? So Propresenter has a third party software where you can do code stage display, where you can use to remotely control your Propresenter from wherever you are. You can also use a network IP. Can you see it's Tunji's MacBook Pro port IP and all of that? So if you're under the same network, you can actually control Propresenter using your mobile phone. So that's that for that. And then you have sync, where you want to sync repository, or you want to sync your files, or you want to synchronize your files to a path and any of that. So all of these things are just where you want your files to store. So if I open my documents right now, you see that Propresenter has created a default folder here. And so you see a Propresenter folder. So that's what it's really talking about here, right? So downloads, themes, playlists, can you see audio, all of that support files, that's really what it's really referencing from this. And then we have services. So these are services, like I said again, third-party solution. And when I was showing you Planning Center right here, right here when I was showing you Planning Center. So I'll just come back to this. I really want us to really just run through this, but I just wanted to just walk you through all of this. You can always go back and check these things. So there's multi-tracks, there's song select, where you can, rather than importing your song manually, song select is more like a third-party, more like a third-party Can everyone still hear me? Okay, everyone can see me. Sorry about that. So yes, no, actually, my screen. So yes, we are back, and like I was saying again, so you can have all of this third-party platform really integrated into your Propresenter, and then you have pro content that I showed you earlier that helps you get cinematic and modern touch visual media display. Some of these things you can download off YouTube or any third-party platform. You have Resi. So Resi is also, like I say again, so 1, 2, 3, these are just Propresenter's third-party integrated solutions that are working. Resi is so you can live stream with Propresenter. I'll show you how that works in a moment. And Resi is just Propresenter's integration to creating resilient live streams. So when you have bad network, like it says buffering, wheels, dropouts, and glitches can keep your stream perfect, even though complete internet interruptions and poor connections, like hotspots. So basically that's what this solution is about, and it's an integration into Propresenter. It's a third-party integration into Propresenter. Mind you, Propresenter has a solution called APIs, right? So you see they have an API document for this is for tech people or geeky people, just really want to integrate. You want to create your own dedicated solution into Propresenter for you to run Propresenter for you. And then you have audio, right? This is your audio output, sending audio outputs, and on Propresenter you can have as much as 16 channels, right? So if I increase the channels, right, you see how the channel counts are increasing on my video feed here. When I increase it to 5, can you see it has increased to 8 channels? And then when I increase it to 9, it has increased to 16 channels. Can you see 4 channels on each upper bar, right? So you can have as much as 16 channels. That's the maximum amount of channels that you can have on Propresenter, and then you can route this audio, so you can see how it's showing Propresenter channel 1, 2, up onto 16, and then you can map and route these audios. But like I said again, you can't go through all of that today, so we'll stick back to 4 channels. We're still back to 4 channels where we are, and you can also have SDI and NDI channels, audio channels, where you can map your input channel to Propresenter output channels and all of that. And then you have advanced setups, all of these devices. So you can have a MIDI map or a DMX map where you can use like a lighting console or a MIDI control software to control Propresenter. When people we're asking people, why do you want to, what are the things you want to learn about Propresenter? And one of the things people had mentioned was that they wanted they wanted to use Propresenter to how Propresenter can integrate to Resolum. So these are one of the ways you can integrate Propresenter to Resolum by using this third-party MIDI or JMX maps, and you can also connect Propresenter and Resolum via NDI, right? And then this is where you check your updates. So we're using the latest update of Propresenter. You can also register for the beta version. So after all of that ramble, let's get to work. So one of the things you need to first create is a screen, right? And now we are going to be working on what I had shown you earlier, which was this workflow, that we designed for Jesus Christ Encounters. So to understand this workflow best, can everyone still hear me well? If you can hear me, say yes. If you understand what is being said, say yes. If you have any questions, please type your questions in the chat. I know we are moving real fast, but we just want to make sure that we're able to cover as much as we want to. If you have any questions, type your questions in the chat. If you want me to pause, you can raise your hand, right? And if you raise your hand, Erom will just nudge me to, there's a question. So now we're about to get practical. I'll show you some things as we're going through right now, as we're creating this workflow that we did for Jesus Christ Encounters South Africa. And I'll route all of that back into Zoom. So I just share my screen again, and then so we'll come back to Propresenter. So I'll come back to Propresenter, and so first thing we want to do is for that workflow we have screens. Now on Propresenter, like I said again, you can create as many screens as possible. And when you want to create a new screen, so there are 2 categories of screens on Propresenter. There is the audience screen and there is the stage screen, and I'll explain that in a moment. Now, the audience screen is a screen that you send to display to your live audience as it can sound. So your live audience could either be your live audience online or your live audience in venue, or your live audience. Can everyone still hear me? Yes, so your live audience in venue, and basically your live audience in venue, and then your stage display is basically your screens that you designed for confidence monitors. So you have singers on stage, or you have somebody that is doing a presentation on stage and you want to show them a timer or anything. The stage display is basically how you design your stage screen. So we're going to be creating 4 screens. So from that workflow that we had shown you earlier, which was this one, you can see that we have 4 audience screens actually. So we have one, which is the stage IMAG, right? So we have stage IMAG left and right, but it's the same thing because the signals are looped. we'll have the center IMAG, then we have the vertical column. So this is one screen. That's why they are color coded. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And then our fourth screen is our Propresenter screen, right? So all of these 3 screens are sent via NDI to Resolum. So for those who are asking about how can we connect Propresenter and Resolum, so you can see that IMAG 1 and 2, center IMAG left and right, is sent to Resolum via NDI. This is also sent to Resolum via NDI, and the vertical screens are sent to Resolum via NDI. Right, this is sent as an HDMI NDIs look into for live stream. So let's get back to Resolum. Let's get back to Propresenter and create a screen. So the first screen we want to create, right? Because it is an NDI screen. Now, NDI stands for Network Device Interface. And how NDI works is NDI helps you send video signals over a network. Now, you can send as high as 4K signals over a network, 4K 60p, but always know that the strength of your internet bandwidth is very, very important. If you're doing an internal routing of video signals that works. You can also use Siphon. Siphon is now available for Windows, it's only available on Mac. And then you can also just make them as a placeholder. But we'll make the screens NDI screens because we really, we'll make the screens NDI screens because we want to see our signals much later displayed. So I'll be replacing my video feed much later during this presentation. So the first screen we are creating is a 1080 60p screen, and we're going to call it center IMAG. So center screen. So this center screen is a screen that is carrying the Joy is My Vibe, and you see it's already saying Tunji's MacBook Pro NDI 1. It's saying Tunji's MacBook Pro NDI 1, so we can just rename this as center IMAG NDI screen. So NDI, right? And then automatically changes it to center IMAG NDI. So know that also another thing that you can do on Propresenter is you can create single screens, mirrored screens, you can create grouped screens, and you can create edge blended screens. Well, these are complex features on Propresenter, but we might not have all of the time to do that today. Another thing you can do is you can do an output target where your one screen can be split into 2 output targets. So you can have left and right alignments, but we're just doing a one full screen alignment. And then because we also want to send an alpha key, so basically an alpha key is that when you're sending your lyric and display out from Propresenter, when you're sending a lyric and output out from Propresenter, you want that it is clear, so that when you layer it on a visual in Resolum, right, you can still see that entire beauty that you want to have. So we're going to enable NDI, we're going to enable alpha key. So the next screen that we want to create is our next screen that we want to create is a new NDI screen. We're going to call that, it's going to be another 1080 60p. We're going to call that screen. So for every new screen you create, it calls the screen 1. So we're going to call that screen, IMAG screen. IMAG screen. IMAG just means image magnification. So some of you might be asking what is an IMAG screen. So an IMAG screen is just that big live screen that shows the video feed and the live feed, and then lays on the lower third. So we're going to be showing you how that can work. So we call this IMAG. NDI screen. And you begin to see how these NDI signals are coming out on Propresenter already. And then the next screen is for our vertical screen. Can you see how my NDIs are already beginning to pop up here already? And then we can now create a new custom resolution. So now the next screen we want to create is a custom resolution, because what we are doing is a vertical screen, and our vertical screen is going to be 1080 by 1920. 1920, and by the time I click OK, can you see how? Give me a moment. Apologies. 1080 by 1920. So forgive me. I just did this again. Yeah. New NDI custom size 20. 80. Okay, so it's creating square screens. So rather than doing that, we would make this initially make this a placeholder, right? So we can call this vertical screen, and it's saying what is the width of the screen. So the width of the screen is 1080, and you see how that will look right now. And then the height of the screen is 1920. By the time you see this, can you see this is a vertical screen? Now I can always so this is my vertical screen, and there we go. So I'll just rename this as vertical screen. Vertical screens. And then the final screen we're creating is our live stream screen. And our live stream screen can be a placeholder too. So we can do live stream. Live stream. And so we have all of our screens. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we're just going to create a stage screen, and I'll just call this multi-view. I have to run real fast because we have to, but if you need to, we'll upload this session again on YouTube so you can just follow step by step. Multi-view screen. Really, what we want to do with this multi-view screen is for us to be able to monitor all of our screens. Now, as soon as I'm done with this, when I come here, can you see all of the screens that we've created is now showing here as audience screen? So we have audience screen 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have a multi-view screen. Now, with the screens now, we can now start destinating content. So Propresenter has under screens again, they have something called looks, right? And then we're just really going to configure our looks. So we're going to create a new look, a new preset look. And that preset look is going to be called Liseen Productions Training. And basically what looks really means is that Propresenter has a layered style presentation on top in everything. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. So can you see so I'm going to make this live, and then I'm just going to show you. It says enable identify. So this is how Propresenter stacks presentation. So on the bottom of every presentation, right, is your video input, and then on top of it is your media layer, and then on top of it is your slide layer, then on top of it is your announcement layer, and then on top of it is your props layer, and then on top of it is your messages. And these are the icons that represent it. So you have the video, right? When I turn on video, can you see video goes up? When I turn on media slide goes up. When I turn on slide layer goes up. When I turn off announcement layer, announcement goes up. When I turn off props goes off. When I turn off message goes up. And then you have all your layers are cleared. So I'm just going to come back to this again, and really what we're going to now do is we're going to configure all of the screens, and we're going to be asking ourselves, what is going to what and how do we want to route the signals. So for our live stream, we really want that those watching on the live stream should only see the lyrics. Those watching on live stream should just see our video input, which we have imported already earlier, which is the video input of myself, right? This, as you can see, which is just the video input of myself, and let me just break this all the way down. Just the video input of myself, and what we also want them to see on the live stream screen is just a slide layer. So that means every other thing they don't get to see. Now, if I select my live stream screen, this is all that is being sent to my live stream screen. But when we come back to editing our looks, we can see that on our vertical screen, all we want to be sent to our vertical screen is our slide layer. And we'll configure that much later. But all we just want to see on our slide layer is our presentation, right? That is the lyrics that we're sending, because we want the lyrics on the vertical slide on the vertical screen to scroll either vertically upwards or vertically downwards. Now, when you click on this icon, you can select themes. So we'll come to themes much later, and then I'll explain how themes work in Propresenter. You can destinate different themes to different screens. Now, our center IMAG again, what we're just really sending to our center IMAG is just media and slide layer. So we turn off that. So our IMAG in the room, that is the screen in the room, that is, we just want that to show the video actually. So we want the screen in the room to show the video and the slide layer. So our center our IMAG screen is basically mirroring what our live stream screen is doing, but we can also create different looks, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then our center IMAG, what we just really want our center IMAG to do is, so now clicking this check buttons is basically saying, turn off all of these things off. And you see, when I make live, you see how this is working right now. So let me show you. So video is turned on live stream screen, while video is turned off on center IMAG, right? So when I click on center IMAG, video is not showing. But that doesn't mean that video is not turned on. Can you see it's still showing red? So when I come back to IMAG screen, can you see that video is showing? And then when I come to live stream screen, video is still showing. But when I come to center screen, there is no video because I have turned it off. I have told Propresenter that when I am showing videos, you don't need to send it in my center screen acute, right? And then for this screen, we're just going to do some routing. So this is already an existing screen. We just wanted to show a video screen, a video feed. So we're done with that, and now we are going to now come to, so we've done configuring our screens. We have all our we have our 4 major screens, and we have a backup screen. This is a fifth screen. Like I said again, you can have as many screens as possible, and you can configure the looks. So you see, these are some of the looks that we did. So you can have different looks. So can you see that for this one, it's a different look. For this is a different look. For this is a different look. For different looks. So you have as multiple looks. You can also create as many looks as possible. And these are the looks that we're able to trigger doing Jesus Christ Encounter South Africa for what we're doing. Now, back to it, we have, like we've explained earlier, we have the multi-layer stacked level of our presentation, and just right underneath, this is where you monitor your feed. But just right underneath here, you have audio, so you can play audio files, right? And Propresenter, and when you click on this, you can see that you have. So audio is coming out right now. Can you see how you can monitor the bar? And then if you want to monitor the progress of that, of your audio, you can have, when you click on this icon here, that is how you monitor your audio. You can pause your audio, you can move it fast, you can move it all the way back, and that is how you monitor the play line of your audio. Now, if I were to play a video playback, right, which is showing on our center screen right now. So if you see what I was telling you again, now as this video is playing, can you see that the media layer is triggered already? Because this is a media file. But if I to click on the Blackmagic A10 field, it's just showing my video, right? Because media layer again is not triggered on that. Look, can you see that on this, it is just video that is turned on. All of this is not. It's just the video that is turned on, but that does not mean that the media layer is not live at the moment. And I'll show you what that looks like. I mean, so you understand how we're able to achieve what we achieved in the video, in what we're mapping out. So, like I said again, 2 hours is quite a short for us to really talk through this, but in our feedback form, one of the things we would ask is if you really want an extensive one-on-one, I mean, to really take you through everything that you need to know about Propresenter takes like an intensive 4 hour or 6 hour intensive class for you to really get from really beginner level to advanced level, right? So just back to it, but can you see that we cannot monitor the duration because this video has 17-second duration playback, but why can't we pause it, or why can't we control the playback? Why can't, can you see I'm changing this motion packs or these files? Why can't I change that? That is because when you click on this, you're now beginning to see the playback. Can you see it says flag of Nigeria waving free and all of that? So this is where you can control the playback, or you can also pause it. Now back to this, I digressed a bit, but that was just me just showing you the media tab. And then you have your stage display. Now, can you remember when we created our stage screen? Right here. So you can always turn on and turn off. So this is a button that makes you turn on and turn off your stage display. When you connect an external display to your computer, either an HDMI or an HDI or a VGA signal, you can always turn on and turn off. When you turn on this, it turns on all your audience screens. When you turn on stage, it turns on all your stage display screens. So this is your stage screen. I'll be designing a stage screen real quick. This is your timer. So you have three categories of timers, but you can always create as many timers as possible. Can you see? You can always go to timer 6, timer 7. And then if you want to delete them, you can always delete these timers, right? You can always delete timers. So you can rename all of these timers. So you want to do a countdown timer for a session, you want to do a countdown timer for someone speaking, you want to do a count up timer, you want to count down to time. So take, for instance, we're counting down to, the time is 11:24. So you can count down to time. You can create a countdown timer where you just set the exact time itself. So it's 5 minutes, and then you play, and then it starts counting down. Or you can count down to time. So countdown to time means I want to count down to 11:30. So when I hit this back button, can you say countdown to 11:30 a.m. When I play this, it's counting down. It's telling me the exact amount of minutes that's going to count down to 11:30 a.m. So I don't need to assume or look at my watch and see how many seconds are left to 11:30 a.m. And you can allow it to overrun. That means it goes to minutes and all of that. So, and then there's also a lapse timer. So you can start the timer, and then you can see it's counting up. So this is a count up timer, and then you can also put where it ends. So again, if you have Propresenter, you can play with all of these features. This is message. This is where you can send messages to someone on stage. You can integrate this to your stage display. This is props. So how props basically works is this. So let me just show you. Again, we have this, and props is not live in any of these screens, but we make props live on our live stream screen. So take, for instance, we want to do like a lower third display of my name. So I'll select my live stream screen, which is this. And really what I'm going to now do right now is I'm going to route this video signal on Propresenter now into Zoom, so you begin to see what I'm talking about. So we would have so I'm going to convert my live stream screen to an NDI feed, right? So I want to convert this my live stream feed screen to an NDI screen, right? So I'm going to convert this and make it live stream NDI. I know that I'm saying there's a lot happening that's all together, but if you really follow through, you would catch up with everything. And we've just decided to make this live stream screen, so it says hardware, so we're just going to make it a 1080p screen, right? And by the time I come back to configuration again, right, or we make live, this is what we have for live stream. So if I route this signal into, can you see under NDI on the upper right here, I can select NDI stream, live stream NDI, and basically you might not really understand what I'm talking about until I do this. Now, when I turn on props and I make this live, if I should put a prop on my video, right? So let me look for a prop that I can put. So let me just put this so that it sort of makes it obvious. Now I can route this video into Zoom just by selecting on my preferences. So, but just by changing my input source to an NDI video source, you can see that my video has changed on Zoom. Can everyone still see me? So let me just stop sharing so I'm sure that everyone is seeing. So can you see that my video on Zoom has changed, right? That is because I am routing what is coming in from Propresenter into this. So if I want to change that display to this, right, which is a feed from Propresenter, right? Let me just spot that myself, right? Can you see that this is what is being presented on? This is what is showing in Propresenter. So really, like we said again, Propresenter has a layered stack level. So because the video is behind, this is a prop. So the prop is just on top of the video. So this is the video and this is the prop. And then the prop is just on top of the video. So we'll just really go back to what we were doing before, and so I'll switch my video to my normal video. So this is my FaceTime video now again, and then I'll share my screen. So we'll continue from where we stopped. So we're almost there, right? Because everyone is wondering. I don't know if anyone here is wondering. Yeah, so I was supposed to share my entire screen. So we're almost there, and so really what's left for us right now is we've configured all of the screens, and now what we really now want to do is we want to start routing signals, right? Now before we route signals, then just really quickly, excuse me, let me just really talk about macros. So macros basically is creating an instruction. That's what a macro is basically. The macro is an instruction on Propresenter saying, so I can say, turn off video, right? I can call this macro turn off video. And when I trigger this macro, right, it says I should add action. So you can rename the macro. You can say should it trigger and start up. That is when you turn on the moment you turn on Propresenter, it triggers the macro, or you can add the action. So let's say the macro that I want to do is I want to clear video, right? So I want to clear video input when I trigger this macro. So I've created a macro that says turn off video, and I'm about to create another macro that says turn on video. So now again, macros are, like I said again, they're like instructions. So when I click on this, I click on turn on video. I've selected my video input. So now when I click on this macro, watch what happens. Video goes out. When I click on it again, video comes back on. Now I don't need to manually come here and select my video or clear here or clear my video. All I just need to do is just trigger the macro, video comes on, I trigger the macro, video goes out. Trigger the macro, video comes on, trigger the macro, video goes out. So it is a quick way of just setting clear instructions, and you can set as many instructions as possible just for your looks. So you can select macros that can trigger a different look for you or trigger a different theme for you. So it's really just compiling, and you can add as many instructions as possible together and say, okay, clear this, show this, do this. And then you can also integrate, you can drag and drop macros on your slides, right? So when I click on this, can you see that the lyric is on top of my video, right? Because it's saying when this lyric file goes up, the macro goes up, right? And then when I drag this macro on this, when I click on the next slide, it says take out the video. When I click on this again, the video comes on. When I click on this, the video goes out. So that's basically how macros work. And then I can always remove this macros from the lyric display. So back to, so I'll just clear that, and we will now go to a stage display. So what I want to do for my stage display is I want to create a multi-view for the stage display. So now under your stage layout, I mean, there are multiple ways to get to your stage layout. You see when you click on this editor here, so you have show, edit, reflow, Bible, and more options. And under more options, you have stage editor. So under stage editor, we're going to create a new stage layout, and we're going to make it blank. And under this blank stage editor, we're going to rename it, and we're going to call it Liseen training. Now this screen that we're creating, don't forget that we've created a stage screen that is an NDI output that says stage NDI. Now this stage NDI is what I'm good, and I've shown you how I can route that NDI signal, the video signal. So what I'm going to be doing is just creating a multi-view of all of our screens so that you can see what they look like. Now we've created primarily 4 screens, right? It said center IMAG screen, vertical screen, and light frame screen. So we'll come to our stage layout, the create edit layout. On this one, we say want to create screen preview. So we can preview our screen, and we say want to preview our center screen, right? So our center screen is going to be previewed here, right? And then we can create another screen that says we want to preview our center IMAG here. So I'm just trying to be quick about this. This is not going to be as neat as you want it to be. Then we want to preview our live stream screen here. Like I said again, so you can always stage screens are like one of the most beautiful things you can have in Propresenter. It helps you and this is our vertical screen. And then I can just have myself right in the middle here. Okay. I can just have myself right in the middle here. So I just create a new shape, and or you know what, I'm just going to create a circle actually, and I can just fill that circle with the video input, and that video input will be my video, right? That video input will be my video. So I just put that in here so that it just masks every other person. Now you might be wondering, okay, all this that you just did, how does it make sense? Well, when I select this and I show you this multi-view screen, can you see what just happened? Right now, you're seeing my video in multiple places, right? And you're wondering, okay, how is this happening? Let me route that into Zoom, and you get a feel of what we are doing. Right now, it's quite simple, right? Again, so if I stop my screen share and I change my video input to NDI video, and the NDI video that I'm selecting is my state display. Now, this is my video feed on Zoom, right? This is my video display on Zoom. And the reason why we're doing this is so that I really want you to see how all the screens are looking on my video feed while we're working on the final look for the Joy is My Vibe lyric display. So I'll pause the video. So if you think, so the Nigerian flag video is playing right now, hence the Nigerian flag is playing simultaneously as how you have my video showing in different places. And the reason why my video is showing in all of these places is because the video look is being turned on. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to label the top of this video so we know what screen is what screen, right? So I'll come back here again and let me just share my screen. So moving onwards, you guys are going to be seeing this screen, so that this is what everyone is going to be seeing, so that it's just going to help with. So I'm just going to quickly redesign. We are really running out of time. Skill to fill. I'm really running out of time, and I really just want us to catch up with so many things. So I'm just really going to just copy and paste this. So this is our center iMac. This is our iMac. This is our live stream. This is our live stream. And some of these things are not neat, so sorry about that. I'm just copying and pasting. There's nothing so special. And this is our vertical screen. Not screen, screen, sorry. This is our vertical screen. And this is Tunji Live. So that's a copy and paste feature and mark. So just copying and pasting. I just put that on top of it here, and I'll just call that Tunji Akinbo. Yes. So you can just see right there. So you can see right now that this is what we look like on Zoom, right? Again, if I stop my screen share, this is what you're seeing right now. And you can see how we just really created this interesting display on Zoom. And I mean, anybody that's seen this wonder how is this happening? Because you definitely know the magic, you know the behind the scenes of everything. And this is basically how we're going to create the visual. So again, like I said, you can always go back and watch some of these video files. So we're going to now, we've talked about stage editor. So on stage editor again, just so that I just do one more thing, you can always add a time. So you can add system clock. So if I do system clock, just right here so that everybody knows what the time is at the moment. You can see that is now showing. Oh, okay, I also share my screen so everybody didn't see how I created that. So I'll just share my screen and do that again. So on stage editor, you can add, so can you see you can add multiple things, and this is basically how you can use this as a confidence monitor to show countdown timers, playback, time code, whatever it is. So I can add a system clock, right? So everybody knows what the time is. And I can configure that. I can put that time here. I can put that time here, and I can configure even the text size. to 70. Again, there's so many things that we could have talked about in this class, but time will not permit us. So you have that, and then so you have the time running real time while, so you have the time is 11:41. Wow, we have just 20 minutes to go. So finally, let's get to it. Because of time, not CLI editor. So because of time, we will not be able to talk about themes, but really, this is the theme that we used at Jesus Christ Encounter South Africa. So, but I'll just really show you how to create themes real quick. So when you click on other stage editor, you have themes and you have theme editors. Now you can always create a new, so when you click on this, you can always create a new theme, and then you can call it Liseen training, right? And then under your themes, you can create new looks, right? So you can rename this new themes like as look 1, right? Look 1 for screen 1. Look 1 for screen 1. And then you can create another one again and call it. And then you see all the way to the right, you can also rename it here and say look 2 for screen 2, right? Just by the time, can you see it has already taken the name of the screen? Can you see just what I wrote has already taken the name here? And you can select what the size should be. Do you want it to take the size? Do you want this screen to take the size of a vertical screen? Can you see automatically changes to the vertical screen? Or do you want it to take its own native screen size? Or you can create a custom screen size. But again, we'll have the next training that we'll be doing, or in this series, we might just really take one particular thing, one particular topic on Propresenter, so that people can really catch the depth of what each feature is on Propresenter. Again, you can always add media files, slides, add shapes, add tools, configure your text, make your text scroll, and all of that. So we would just work with what we have created before, which was the Jesus Christ South Africa theme, right? So we have some themes already existing. So you have iMac screen theme, we have live stream scripture, right? So we just turn off under this live stream scripture, we just turn off this background layer, right? So that we don't have the chroma feed on top of it. And then we already have some already existing lyric fields and looks. Some of these things, again, we might have like another class to just really talk about how they work. So we will go back to our looks, and we would now be getting into how we achieve our Joy is my Bible look. So on our distant production screen, you begin to see things changing right away. Now, if you look to, now I created this multi-view screen because this multi-view screen just shows you what is happening on all of the screens. So I don't need to have to go manually to be checking one screen after the other, right? It's just, I just created this multi-view screen is just to show you everything that is happening at a go, right? And we've created a label just to let you know, like, okay, this is what's going on in all of the screens. So, like we said, it's again, our center IMAG is just supposed to show a visual display, right? And it's supposed to show our lyrics. But how do we want our lyrics to show? We want our lyrics to be big on the center IMAG. Now, for what we did at Jesus Christ Encounter, right? We routed the lyric feed. So just give me a moment and let me explain that. So this is one of those things that we created, and it said lyric on center IMAX. So can you see that when I turn off this and I click on make live, right? And I click on my song now, the song is now on top of if you're using a laptop, it would be nice for you to just really just break my screen share and my video so that you can see everything side by side in real time. So we already have this happening there. Now, what we wanted to also now do was that we had a video input happening for a center IMAC, right? And really, because our Blackmagic screen would be taking this text scrolling side feed, and let me explain that real quick, right? Let me explain that real quick. So this is the Blackmagic testing, and by the time, can you see now? This is AI just really scrolling to the side. So what we now decided to do was we decided to make this Blackmagic screen an NDI feed, right? So we make this Blackmagic screen an NDI feed. So we make it Blackmagic scroll NDI. Right. So it's not Blackmagic scroll NDI, and it's going to take 1080-60p. Now, when we come back and reconfigure our the slide, and then it's still scrolling. But you see, what we can now do thereon is we configure our video input, and we say our NDI video input 2 should become Blackmagic scroll. Right. Can you see now our NDI video input is now a Blackmagic scroll video input? So if I added that as a video input here, what you now have is you now have two video inputs, right? So you have video input 1, which was this, and we have video input 2. So when I trigger video input 2 now, what you're seeing on the multi-view screen is this, right? Now, what we decided to do was now that this video input, because we don't want to trigger, we're not really triggering it. We just want to reroute the video input. So we decided to reroute this video input. We decided to configure this video input and say under inspector, right, we're going to give it a visual effect. So we called it color warp. Not color warp wasn't the visual effect actually. So it was ripple center, right? So this is the one that we did for. It's just running, but this is number 1. So I'm trying to remember the effect now. Video blur. It wasn't that. So again, when you input your video, you can always add visual effects to that. Okay, so this was what we used for Joy Is My Vibe. So this was what we used for Joy Is My Vibe, and it just has this pixelized look. And so by the time we send that in, this is how we're getting Joy Is My Vibe, Joy Is My Vibe, and I can say that this video should become a foreground input, right? So again, and see that my video is still in the center, and then you're seeing every other thing that you want to see on the side. Now back to it. Now we have, so let me just look for Joy Is My Vibe so that you see the song. Again, you can always to import a song, you can just click on, so what you can really do is you can copy a song from your notes or whatever it is, and when you click on paste, right, it just clicks on. So let's say sorry about that, I'm trying to just find but I mean, let's just find Joy Is My Vibe because we don't have so much time on us again. So when you press Command F, right, it says Joy Is My Vibe. Yes. So can you see now? things. So you have Joy is my vibe, really just giving. But this is not what we want our live stream audience to see. So what do we want our live stream audience to see? Right. So for our live stream screen, we want to now have, we are turning off our video. So, but I mean, we could have actually originally turned on our video, but you see, because video is being controlled, the video input wasn't controlled by Propresenter. That is why you might not be able to see the video input. But what is going to be layered on the video input is what we're going to configure here. So what we're going to configure for live stream screen is we want our live stream online lyrics. Can you see these online lyrics here? That we want the lyrics to be on the lower bottom of the screen. So when we do that and we click on make live, you see that for our live stream screen, give me a moment. I have a feeling that I could mix some things up. Yes. Screen preview. Live stream screen. Yes, that's the live stream screen. So, okay, I really mix something up. So for our live stream screen, we want that the lyrics should be just to the bottom. So by the time I click Joy is my vibe, can you see that the lyrics is not to the bottom? Now if you had a video feed, that video feed will go there. Now for our iMag, we want that the lyrics should also be to the bottom. So we're going to turn up this video to the king. And then, well, let's see for our iMag, we even want the video to be bigger, right, than the online lyrics screen. So by the time we click on this and then we click on Joy is my vibe again, can you see that the live stream lyrics and the iMag lyrics are different, right? And then now we can have designed the vertical scroll screen. So we already created a look for vertical lyrics scroll up, right? So we're just going to have this and then click on make live. Can you see? So this is how we created Joy is my vibe lyric presentation. I know that so many things are happening at the same time. I am wondering how. So, but basically, as you can see, you have, basically, as you can see, we have, now because the visuals were controlled by, so really, we can even just do this. So we, so what we'll just do, just to help people get clarity of what we are doing here, we would use the space that motion pack, and then we would turn that on in the look so that people just have an idea of what's going on. So it just we have more clarity on. So I think when these video signals come up, it sort of gives you like clarity on what is going on. So by the time we do this, right, and the reason why when we click on stretch to fill, scale to fill, so can you see now? This is basically we'll change this, so scale to fill, and then so basically this is your lyric being displayed, and for video input again, we just need to change the so for center iMag, we'll turn off this because we don't want to confuse everyone. I know that we've really done like a lot. So basically, this is how we're able to achieve the Joy is my vibe lyric style. So the shout of the king. So can you see this is what's happening on the vertical screens? This is what's happening with the iMag. And you can see for the live stream, it has like a black what black watermark, black background holding it, so it makes like the lyric pop up, and it's different from what is showing online. But you see, we are controlling the lyrics from one source, right? Joy is never, joy is never, and then you have all of that really interesting presentation happening. I know we are 4 minutes away, and we really just want to end at 12 o'clock. Like I said again, if you really want us to go in depth into this, you want us to give you like an in-depth training of everything that has to be Propresenter from start to finish. We hope that we've not confused you. Let me just stop my live, stop sharing my screen. So I'm sure that everybody is like, how do we move from Tunji showing on one big screen to multiple screen displays happening at the same time? But this just tells you the power of Propresenter. Propresenter can be used for anything. It can be used for virtual productions. It can be used for live event productions. It can be used for visuals designs, and you can just use it to achieve really interesting and complex looks on your screen. And without much to say, we're just really thankful. We just want to say thank you for everyone that has joined. We would we will upload this session again on YouTube, so you can really follow through. Like we say, then practice makes perfect. And it's just in practicing and practicing and practicing that you are able to really understand some of these things that we've done, right? It's in practicing and practicing and practicing that you're able to understand some of these things that we've shown you here, and you will be able to implement them either in your house of worship or wherever it is that you want to use Propresenter. So thank you very much. We just take a few questions. If there's anyone that has any question or anything that they want to ask real quick before we wrap it up. One more thing again. So again, you can stream this entire screen. So let me just show this real quick, so that let me just show this real quick how to live stream a Propresenter. So just on the upper right corner, you have live, right? So if you click on start capture, let's just do capture settings actually, right? So when you click on capture settings, you have source. So you can select the source. What do you want to capture? Do you want to record your multi-view screen, or do you want to capture? So what source do you want to capture? So you select the screen you want to capture, right? So you know the screen you want to capture, right? So if we're going to live stream, it was our live stream screen you're going to select, and then you can now you can record to disk. That is, you want to just record it to your laptop, select the resolution. You can do a custom resolution, and then you can do your audio routing. Like I mentioned, audio routing again. Like these are complex things that we can train you individually. You can use Resi. I showed you guys Resi earlier, and RTMP destination. So RTMP destination, you can use Caster.io. We use Caster.io because Propresenter can only destinate to one content delivery network, right? And so if you want to live stream to YouTube, you can only live stream to YouTube. But because we also do want to do a multicast stream, want to stream to both Facebook and YouTube simultaneously, so we use a third-party stream platform, which is called Caster.io. You can check it out, or you can use Restream, and then from there we distribute our stream from Caster to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. So it's really, really interesting, and you can always use a coding setting. You can stream as high as 1080p, 60p, but it's already telling you the minimum bandwidth that is required for this live stream. So we always stay on 30, 720, 30, or we even stay on 730, 30, so that because you know that internet bandwidths can be quite interesting in our location depending on where you are. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for everyone that has joined. I know that it's been a lot. If you have any questions, anything, just permit us to just take another 5 minutes of the time. If you have any questions, anything that you feel is unanswered, anything, that you want to ask? Any questions? Anyone in the chat? Any questions? Oh, thank you so much, Felix. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you so much. So we were going to put a feedback form in the chat. Erom can just drop the feedback form in the chat. So you can just go to the feedback form. I think that, yeah, so that people can select. Oh, okay. But anyways, I'm going to send you the feedback form because I don't think it's coming up as a clickable link, but we'll send it as an email to everyone for everyone that joins. So you can just give us a feedback on what you think about the session. And again, we're going to upload it on YouTube so that you can always go back and watch it and tell us what you think and go through it. And if you really want us to give you a one-on-one in-depth training, or you want us to train a church, or you want us to train a team on how to work with this tool, we are available to teach you and train your team either on a full day training skill or on a half day training skill, whichever you want us to set up for you, we can do that for you. So thank you everyone for today. Thank you so much. Once again, do we have any questions? Any questions? Any questions in the chat? Any questions? Any questions in the chat? Any questions? No questions, no questions. Can everyone still hear me? Interesting, nobody's asking any questions. Wow. So everybody understood. Everybody understood. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, you can hear me, but no questions. Okay, good. So thank you everyone again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for today's session. And we are grateful that you came here to see what we could do with Propresenter, and we're able to show you what we can achieve with Propresenter. We look forward to having you in our next training session again. The time is 12:03 p.m. I mean, you can see the time just right on top of it. There. So thank you guys. Have an amazing time. God bless you, and have a great one. So let me just switch my video back to my normal camera. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this amazing session. It was really grateful, and we hope that for those who have questions, you can always reach out to us on Instagram, send us a DM if you want us to organize a training for you. Again, we do trainings, we do consultations, we have a church media, a strength upskill, we can help you with that. And yes, we look forward to hearing from you, and we'll send also a feedback form so that you get that in your email in another 5 minutes immediately the session ends, and this video will be up before the end of the day, so that can you control multiple venues? Yes and no, right? I know that with Propresenter you can use planning center, right? And planning center basically makes you connect multiple Propresenter licenses that can help you control or select those plan your events or plan your schedule or plan the flow for different centers. But if you want to control, but for each Propresenter device and computer that is displaying, we're shooting a little bit over our time again. But I just need to answer this question. I don't know who SA is, but I saw SA. But for everyone that wants to, the easiest way to control, right? If you want to control remotely, if I understand that question, if you want to control remotely, the only way possible you can have to do is now to use a remote desktop or a virtual desktop or a third-party tool to control that Propresenter software in that remote location. But you might need to still have a physical operator in that venue to control the Propresenter software right there. Again, Propresenter is quite easy, and It's actually very easy. Don't be scared about what you see. We are available. We are ready to answer your questions. We are ready to help you through whatever you want to achieve a Propresenter, either complex for live recordings or for in-person meetings or for just make presentation and display in your church. Whatever it is, we are available to just lead you and guide you in that aspect. Thank you once again, everyone. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing weekend. God bless you. Bye.